What's up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel, The Unpopular Party, hosted by me, Party Nick Short. And today we are here to talk about this viral situation that's been going on with this teacher that's been letting his students take braids out of his head. This situation, they opened up a lot of discourse, but I'm just gonna put my whole thoughts and opinion on it. If you haven't already, please make sure you subscribe to this channel. Thank you guys so much for supporting and all the love and support you guys send my way. And without further ado, let's get into my thoughts about all this situation.
I thought I knew you.
So here we have this young man, this black educator, and he's in the class front, and I'm just gonna let you see the video just to get context, but basically he's letting these group of girls in his classroom unbraid his hair, right?
Go ahead and stir the pot a little, shall we? Last Friday, 10 minutes before dismissal time, I decided to live stream my students helping me take my hair out. There was quite the discourse in the chat, which had people saying this was inappropriate, and other people saying this was completely fine, there was nothing wrong with what I was doing, and people were just making it weird. So of course I had to bring this issue to the big stage. I would like to represent myself in this case, Your Honor, if I may. Number one, for a little context, I had a hair appointment immediately after school and I needed my hair taken out beforehand. I would have taken it out the night before, but that Friday we had a camera crew coming in to shoot a promotional video and I was one of the ones being interviewed. So I had to look presentable, so I didn't take my hair out. I didn't have the time to do it all myself because it would have taken me forever. So naturally, I asked about 4 or 5 of my over 100 best friends to assist me in taking my hair out, and they all agreed. Number two, this was at the end of class. This week we were doing STEM fair presentations. Since it was Friday and all of my students did an excellent job on their STEM fair projects and presentations, I told them if we get one solid presentation in this class, I'll end class a little early and they can have fun and play basketball, darts, or be on their phones or whatever. And during that time, my team would help me take my hair out. A couple of these were students from my class, but others were students from other classes. I wrote all of them a pass at the beginning of the class period, requesting their assistance 10 minutes before dismissal. I told the teachers only send them if all of their work was completed and they had good behavior. They all met the criteria, so 10 minutes before dismissal, they showed up for their job. My next point I'd like to make is, if I was a female teacher, those people wouldn't be in the comments saying, "Oh, this is weird, this is inappropriate." Because me personally, I don't think there's anything weird about this. People are saying, "Oh, that's too intimate." To me, it's literally just hair. It doesn't have to be weird. Some people have never had cool teachers, and it shows. I personally believe that building authentic relationships with students is paramount in being an effective teacher. I make sure my students know and can feel that I care about them beyond the schoolwork and all the stuff that I have to make them do. I take the time to get to know my students outside of academics, because caring for the whole child is what's important.
Okay, so we're not gonna see the whole video. It's like a 4-minute video, but basically what you see is a whole bunch of girls crowd around him and they're detangling his hair. Now, this stirred up a lot of controversy because first of all, they was like, one half was like, that is boundaries that they is like crossing. Like, you know, you got these little girls taking down your hair, like it just looks uncomfortable. Other half is just like, you guys need to stop projecting. There's nothing wrong with it. I've seen my teacher do worse things, yada, yada, yada. Here's my thought process, okay? And I'm coming from a thought process as someone, if you don't know, yes, I used to be a teacher back in the day. I worked in middle school, I worked in high school. Shout out to all of my wonderful students that I used to have in the past. But I want to say a couple of things. I'm not knocking him as a teacher, but I will say it is certain boundaries that you have to have between you and your students. And here's the thing, I know it's probably coming off innocent with him, but like people who work in HR are just like boundaries within the workplace. You have to establish them boundaries, especially with kids. You don't want to be caught in a situation where like the girl's like, "Oh, well, Mr. Johnson let me play in his hair." What? And I know people are like, "Oh, that's projecting." No, you just always have to cover yourself. You always have to be mindful of things, because it's not like people are just saying this out the blue. It's just because of things that they have saw in the past. Remember that teacher that went viral on TikTok because she was the cheerleading coach, and people saw like, okay, she's kind of blending in a lot of boundaries. She acts as if she is a high school student.
Feeling like NBA, I think I ain't going outside today.
Well, it turns out she was sleeping with one of them students in the school. This cheer coach just messed up her whole legacy and reputation for a 15-year-old. Now, I don't know if y'all know what I'm talking about. I wouldn't even know what I was talking about 20 minutes ago. But I logged into TikTok and I got introduced to this whole scandal revolving this cheer coach down there in Monroe County. And I'm blocking the kids out because they're kids. This lady had a big following on TikTok. And from what I'm seeing, all the news and everybody was reposting her because of the work she's done as a cheer coach. Like, they literally just posted her on the news for being a coach and the good things that she's done. Now you sit up here and had to resign and going to jail for sleeping around with one of them high school students. Now, I don't know if the rumors are true that she was sleeping around with one of her players' boyfriends, but that's just the icing on the cake. The base of the cake is you still slept around with a child. And you got pictures and videos of you floating around. But you know what? I went to her page, I peeped it. But this is why I said a long time ago, you need to be more mentally disciplined to be a teacher. Because a lot of these teachers, quote unquote, get around in these school settings and they forget that they are just that, the adults. They quickly get sucked back into a school mindset, the lines blur, and they really do think that they be these kids' peers. They spend more time posting TikToks than hanging with these students like she their friends. And if you work in the school system, for one, you know, anybody under the age of 18, you're not supposed to post them on your platform. For one, they're under 18. Whatever they do on their own devices, that's them. But two, you cross certain boundaries. There's no reason why these kids should have access to your personal pages. There's no reason why these kids should have personal access to you after school hours. These teachers are not fit to be teachers. They're weird, broken kids who are still looking for validation from kids. And if it wasn't bad enough, she had a husband and a child. Then it's like, was there not a voice that told you, like, I'm a brain? Not only do you have a follower, and building a following is so hard, but a lot of black people look up to you because you are a cheer coach within the black community. And then from what I'm hearing, your father is the principal. You just had a baby, and the only thing you have to show for that legacy that you build for is this mugshot. Them tables will always turn. That's why I never get behind these performative viral acts, because it just be that viral act. You don't know how these people act when they close this app out. I also want to talk about another situation that happened with this daycare teacher that is fairly recent, and it was met with mixed reviews. Some people felt like she didn't do nothing wrong. I felt like she did. Just watch this video and then we'll talk about it.
Yeah, Wendy, she's had some concerns after a couple of instances at the place where her son attends this after-school program. But she went to plug in his phone to charge it, and that's when she discovered what was going on between her 10-year-old and a worker here at this daycare, the Youth Life Center, that had more than crossed the line. And she's uncovered that relationship that had been brewing for likely weeks.
They hugged for a lengthy period of time.
Grace Shawelu thought something was off with a newer worker here at Youth Life Center on Valley Hill Road, but when she plugged in her son's phone,
her face was his screensaver on the phone, and it was a picture that she had taken of herself.
And she started digging.
I went through his text messages because that was the first thing that I thought. And her name was saved in his phone as Mommy. And it's a bunch of I love yous and what are you wearing?
She shared pictures of much of the concerning conversation between her son and the 24-year-old worker, and pictures like this one.
That's not a picture that you send to a 10-year-old. That's a picture that you send to your man.
She said the worker bought her son clothes, shoes, and even a gold chain. And Grace said when investigators came to her apartment, a Department of Family and Children's Services worker got her 10-year-old to reveal more.
He did say that this incident where she was rubbing his leg happened on the way back from the field trip.
We aren't using the worker's name or face because she is yet to be charged, and that's why Grace is outraged.
Had it been a situation where it was a little girl and a grown man, they would have locked him up on the spot with no questions until he was proven innocent.
I reached out to Youth Life Center, who sent a statement saying, upon learning of these allegations, we took immediate action by notifying the appropriate authorities, going on to say we have terminated the employee for violations of standard operating procedures. Grace won't rest until that worker is charged.
I was really appalled when I saw the comment section of that video, because people was like, I mean, she didn't do nothing wrong. It sounded like to me she was stepping up trying to be the mom. And it just like kind of shocked me, because I feel like people's discernment skills are gone, because technically speaking, did she do anything sexually wrong to that little boy yet? No, but you are crossing boundaries as a teacher, as a daycare worker with this 10-year-old. I get it. You latch on to certain kids and you like look at them as you are their own. But as an adult, as a leader, you have to understand them boundaries, and you have to understand not to cross them worlds. Like you have to be mentally disciplined enough to not let that affect you within your job, because obviously they felt like something was inappropriate to where they had to fire this lady. And in some instances it's different, because you know the coaches and stuff, they have to be in contact with their students. I get that, but if it's just like you just a regular teacher and this is just a student. Why are y'all texting? Stuff like this, we have to have a mindful eye of and just always just be like, look, you gotta stop it at the core. As a teacher, I understand you have a certain level of love for your students. Can't be explained because teaching is just like nursing. It's a passion-based career, meaning people are not gonna understand why you keep coming back, but you come back because you love it. And you have to find different ways to connect with your students. I get that. I remember when I was in school growing up, my teachers used to call them life happening moments, where you realize your teacher is a human. Like, let's say your teacher is bringing some stuff down the step, and maybe it's a batch of students that's just waiting out for their right. You're like, can y'all help me break this stuff to my car? You help the teacher out. Maybe she slides you $5. Thank you. But it's still a thing like, don't get too comfortable because you still have to uphold those boundaries. But I think the underlying problem is, and this is not too much on him, but just in general, I see more teachers that want to be clout chaser or chasing viral moments than I do see them teaching. And this is where the disconnect come into play, okay? On one hand, every time I get on TikTok, I'm seeing a teacher or somebody complaining how these students are getting badder and dumber, which is true. These students are getting badder and dumber, and it starts at home. But on one hand, I see teachers who are saying this and they're trying to call to action, and they're like, we need all hands on deck. But then we also see a handful of teachers who post stuff like this onto the internet, and then once the backlash is coming, y'all need to mind y'all business. Well, which one is it? Because teachers, I'm tired of hearing it.
Oh, that's no.
In the sense that, you know what I mean? Like, but I'm saying that.
My thing is this, like I stated with my teacher, when we have life happen moments, it's just that, it's a life happen moment. Not saying anything inappropriate happened, but you don't broadcast a life happen moment. This was something that was a bonding moment between y'all. Why record it and post it onto the internet knowing Joe from construction is not gonna understand what's going on? If it's in-house stuff, keep it in-house. If the parents is okay with it, if the school is okay with it, if you know it's nothing harmful to it, why does everything has to be a moment? Why does everything has to be documented on the internet? What happens to stuff just being muscle memory? Another thing is just to be mindful, because I know it was some people saying, well, the parents was okay with it. Well, all it takes is, after this backlash, all it takes is one parent to be like, wait a minute now, I ain't say it was okay for my daughter to be pulled out of class, to be coming up in there and doing some man hair, like all it now here it goes. It's a deeper issue. Like them same teachers who I would see who would be like, oh, kids are on their phone, they're not giving us respect. I look around, they're live teaching, trying to look for them with these kids. I'm just like, it's a big disconnect, but kids lead by example. If they see their teacher on their phone, if they see their teacher making TikTok, they're gonna feel like, oh well. And they're not gonna see you as a teacher. You're gonna be looked at as their peer. That's the disconnect. That's all we're saying. Too many teachers want to be the cool teacher. When I was a teacher, my students hated me, okay? Which I told them, I said, you guys are not gonna like me right now. That is okay. They never gonna like the teacher who be like, who hold them accountable, who tell them, no, stop, da-da-da-da-da. I would never give them my social media profile, and it's bigger than what it is now, but at the time, like, they'll be like, oh, I found you on TikTok, da-da-da-da-da. And it's not from a place like I dislike y'all, it's just that y'all are kids, and I need y'all to look at me as the teacher. And they couldn't stand me for that, but it was moments that we had. And I used to always tell them, I love y'all. Y'all not gonna like me, but we gonna get this work done. But to some of them, that's the first time they ever heard, like, I love you from like a black man. For some of them, that's the first time like they ever felt like someone just like owned them, because I know y'all can do better. Now, I didn't last long teaching. Because it just wasn't for me. And I'm not saying it as if I was the perfect teacher. But when I did leave, I remember it was so many students who, mind you, these are the same students who didn't like me. I remember so many students that reached out, was just like, you know, Mr. Taylor, like, where you go? But I never did respond back to them because I'm just so like school-minded. In our school book, in our handbook, it's like you're not supposed to talk to these students outside of school hours. You're not supposed to record them. I used to make TikToks and stuff in my classroom. Like, to add clarity, I used to make them little funny teacher TikTok skits like a long time ago, but it was always like either just like after school in my classroom by myself type. So I never wanted to do it like when the kids was involved, because I always was like, when I'm in school mode, I need to be in teacher school mode. But I would never put my students in there, because it's a thing of you never know what somebody else is going through behind closed doors. That's what we was taught, okay? You may think it's innocent posting little Jania on the internet. Little Jania's in the witness protection program, and you just posted her onto your page. Now Jania daddy, who been stalking looking for her, now she knows she at this, like, you just never know. It's so much that come into a play. So you have to always be like 10 steps ahead of things just to kill it at the stores. And then I saw him release another follow-up video of them painting his nails and stuff, right?
No way you're still embarrassing yourself online. I'm gonna make you look foolish for a second time. You bet your ass I let my students paint my nails before. The student that you see in this video has goals and aspirations to be a nail tech. Not only does she do nails, she does hair, makeup, she's a dancer, super intelligent. She's pretty much a jack of all trades. Since that's the homie, she came up and saw my nails looking a little rough, and she decided she wanted to give me a fresh, clear coat.
And I'm like, see, now you're trying to post stuff out of vain. Because what if the school just let you go?
And it's funny I mentioned it because I just saw a tweet where basically they said that the students had to write letters defending him because they say he was about to get fired or he was up to be getting fired. I'm not sure, but it's just one of those things like, see, you got the attention that you was looking for, but sometimes all attention isn't good attention. I keep seeing folks saying like, oh, he was real cool with the parents, they're cool with it, and the teachers gave permission. Well, if that's the case, if all those ducks was aligned, then why not just keep it off the internet? Because once you post it onto the internet, it gave free will for it to become this big discord, and it gave all this attention onto the school and everything that's going on. It should never, if everything was cool, it should never been posted onto the internet. And taking out the discord about it being an intimate act. This is your workplace. You know what I'm saying? Like, would you be at your job letting your coworkers take your hair out in the middle? No, you would not, because this is a professional setting. And it's not like he's just with his nieces and nephews and other cousins. Like, see, that's family, but you with other people's kids.
What if it's a thing where people are like, okay, well, what are y'all doing in school? Like, what are they test scores looking like? Like, they passing, yeah, they may be passing the class, but what are the test scores in general looking like? But guess what? Nobody would have questions, or nobody would have any thought process to put behind it if you would just keep in-house stuff in-house.
Let me clarify when I say keep in-house stuff in-house. I'm not talking about keep inappropriate relationships on the low. Because when I was in school and a scandal like that happened, that man was plastered all over the news. He was fired. Like, yeah, he was held at the stake. What I'm saying is keep in-house stuff in-house, meaning if you know this is something that, like, not everybody's going to understand. Everything is not meant to be a viral moment. Just keep it within the means of just bonding with your student. It don't have to be like a documented thing.
Like I stated, working in the school system, not everybody's going to understand everything. Being teachers, especially when they try to pull that black male educator card, you never just hold the title of the hat of teacher. You are the teacher, you are the dad, you are the coach, you are the referee, you are the security guard, you are the guidance counselor, you are all of that. And some stuff people are just not gonna understand. They not gonna understand why you may have brought Lil Johnny Chick-fil-A after school, but you know that you had a conversation with Lil Johnny, his mama is struggling today. She can't make it, you had a talk, you done pulled him to the side, you got him something because you know he ain't had a meal in a couple, like, they not gonna understand that. That's why everything don't need to be put on the internet. Everything does not have to be a clickable moment. That's why I'm saying when you post stuff on the internet, even this video that I'm posting right here, whatever you post on the internet, it gives free will to people to put their opinion on it, whether they agree or disagree, okay? Have to be comfortable with that. And by posting this video of him with these little girls playing in his head, and that's nothing. I wouldn't even care if it's a man or a woman. Don't have my child playing in your hair, put them on the payroll, but at the end of the day, all they see is little girls playing in the man's head, which is just a boundary set. If it was a woman, I got these little boys playing in your hair. Boundaries being set. But let them tell it. Some stuff is bonding moments. Cool. We wouldn't have known if the bonding moment stayed as a bond in the muscle memory.
And to the adult male teacher who posted this video, hey, how you doing? I would say just be mindful going forward of what you post onto your platform, because I would say this, you don't want to be caught in a situation to where the world is creating a narrative about you, because that's what's going on right now. You know, you are getting the attention, but sometimes all attention is not good attention. They're calling you all types of names and they're making think pieces about you. Personally, I don't think you meant any ill intentions by this TikTok, and I don't think like you're this perverted person. I do think it was just an innocent bonding gesture with these people. But you just have to understand, like, you know, it is a workplace and not everybody feel comfortable with certain stuff. May have been poor decision making, for lack of a better term, but I don't think you're a bad person. I just think you made a bad mistake, because now your job is up for a line and now you're a hot topic. Now you're an unpopular part. You know what I'm saying? Like, just be cautious, be careful, especially with your content, especially being in the educational system, you know?
So that's my 2 cents on the situation. What do you guys think about this whole situation? Do you feel like it was appropriate? Do you feel like, hey, I don't think he did nothing wrong, they just haven't bonded moment? Or do you think like maybe that was a bit much? And do you feel like if it was something that was understood between the teachers and the parents, it's something that shouldn't have been posted on the internet? Put your thoughts in the comment section below, and I'll see you guys in my next video. All right, you guys, bye.